Hi everybody, I cordially welcome you to this short appetizer. My name is Keiber. I am full professor of finance at the European University Viadrina. I had been appointed chair of finance in the faculty of business administration and economics. In what follows, I would like to raise, if not deepen, your interest in studying finance. Let me start with an initial question. What is the discipline of finance good for? The question sounds really simple, but it can be answered from two perspectives. One perspective is a clear academic one. The other perspective touches you personally. Maybe from that second perspective, finance will turn out to be even more important and more relevant to you as you now feel. Let me just start with the first perspective on finance. So, what is finance as an academic discipline? Finance is one subdiscipline of business administration and somewhat related to economics. Business administration, in general, is concerned with scarce resources. For example, input factors to production are scarce resources. For instance, workforce, employees. Thus, labor is a scarce resource. There is only finite supply. In markets, supply and demand meet each other. In free markets, prices for scarce resources adjust such that supply equals demand. So do salaries in the prices of labor adjust in the labor market. We see markets are at the very heart of business administration. In finance, we focus on capital markets. In capital markets, supply of money and demand for money meet. So, money is the scarce resource finance deals with. I am sure that you as prospective student or actual student agree on the scarcity of money. It would always be nice to have more of it. But now imagine a corporation who wants to enter a new business, but it lacks the necessary funds to start up. It cannot start the business without money. Thus, the corporation searches for capital, for funds to finance this business. The corporation demands money. Finance as academic discipline helps to decide on the financing leg of this business. Now assume some bank provided credit or the corporation raised equity. We say the capital market supplied money. Once the company found finance in the capital market, it faces a follow-up problem. How should the funds be invested optimally? For instance, which machine should be purchased from a menu of offerings? Finance as academic discipline helps to decide on the investment leg of this business. Let me conclude from this excursion. The answer to the simple question, what is finance good for, from an academic perspective, is obvious. As an academic discipline, finance deals with sources of funds on the one hand and uses of funds on the other hand. Put differently, it is on finance and investments. And finance and investments is what you should study first. You should gain an understanding of the interplay of finance and investments. Initially, I pointed out that there is a second perspective on finance, a personal perspective. A maybe even more relevant perspective to you than the academic one. Imagine that one day you are facing some huge investment. The purchase of a flat, a house, or of a new car, but you lack the money for it. Finance will then help you personally. It will help you to decide on the best financing for your investment from a huge menu of financing choices. For example, finance will help you to assess the various credit offerings of commercial banks and to pick the best one. On the other hand, there will come the day when you start thinking about your pension. You will realize, and governments say, that you have to save for your pension personally. So you have to decide on optimal investment facing a virtually infinite menu of offerings in the capital market. Again, finance will turn out to be helpful to you. Upon studying finance, you will better understand the capital markets. As I pointed out, this is not only relevant for corporations, but also for you personally. So, studying finance paves your way to a quite interesting and attractive job market. But more importantly, it improves your financial literacy every day. You will feel much more comfortable with your lifetime investment and financing decisions. Hopefully, you are now convinced that studying finance is worth the effort, both from the academic and the personal perspective. Here is a final promise. If you want to find a job in the financial industry, then studying finance with me will prepare you for job market interviews and corporate assessment centers. Studying finance with me provides you with more than academic classroom knowledge. So, I'm looking forward to meeting you in class. Thank you for your attention. This is Keiber from European University Viadrina. For more information, you are invited to visit the homepage of the European University Viadrina in the internet.